So, when it comes to exercising, I know there are three sets of people. The people who exercise all the time are even professionals, know how to exercise. The people who exercise sometimes, but they don't really know how to exercise, and they're always looking for ways to improve. And then there are those people who wish they could exercise, but they don't know where to start or how to start. Now tonight, I'm just here to share something that I always do when I exercise. And this is something that it can help you. If you think it's useful to you, take it and use it. If you think you don't need it, well, you can teach it to someone who needs it. But, just let me know how you like it. This is called the progressive method of exercising. You can use it in any form of exercise, but for the purpose of tonight, I'm going to use it with push-ups. This is something that helps you to build yourself up, to improve on what you are doing. And most people, they don't see progress, and they always wonder how they can keep track, how they can know that they are getting better. Now, this is a simple way to know. It is good for beginners, for people who've been exercising, even for people who are professionals. You just have to find your niche and then work from there. So I'm going to show you this like I'm showing it to beginners. Now let's do this. After you have warmed up and you have your water, make sure you're drinking water. Now, the first thing you do is you get in the push-up position like this. And then you do one push-up, one only. Let's go. One. Then you rest. Give yourself between 5 to 10 seconds. I'm going to go a little bit faster, but always give yourself between 5 to 10 seconds. And then you get back into the push-up position. And then you go again. 1, 2. Now you just increased it to 2. And then you rest. Give yourself between 5 to 10 seconds. You're building yourself up. Get back into the push-up position. Then you go again. 1, 2, 3. And then you rest. 5 seconds. What have you noticed? Each time I add just 1 rep. So now we're going to go back into the push-up position. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. And when you add just 1 rep each time, it's easy to make progress. It's easy to measure it. And it's very beautiful to feel that you're making progress. Now let's do it again. This time, let's get in a push-up position. And we're going to do it 5 times. Go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. This time you rest between 5 to 10 seconds. And then let's do it again. But this time, hold on 1 second. Yo, D. Could you sit over there for a minute? I'm doing something. Yeah.
You should be in bed.
I should be in bed, I know, but just sit over there for a minute. All right. I'll be done in a second. This time, after resting, you go again in the push-up position. I don't know if we're doing 6 or 5, but let's just go to 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right. Now, let me say something real quick. There are some people whose limit is only 5. Believe it or not. And don't be ashamed of yourself if that is you. It's okay. The most important thing is that you are trying. And when you are trying, you have the opportunity to improve. The problem is when you're not trying at all. And then there is no room to grow. But when you are trying, that's okay. If you can do only 5, then when you get to 5, which is your limit, I want you to now go back and start from 1. and then come up to 5. Then start again from 1 and then come up to 5. And then start again from 1 and then come up to 5. If you do 5 sets in the same manner, then you've had it for the day. Congratulate yourself and celebrate. But please don't celebrate by eating something that will, become counterproductive to your exercise. Just, it's all about what you do and what you eat. So if your limit was 5, that's okay. You just keep doing it. You do 5 sets and then you end it for the day. The next day you do 5 sets, you end it for the day. After a whole week, then try going up to 6. And then take that 6 and do 6 sets for 1 week. And then the week that is coming after that, you can increase it by 1. Like I said, it's like climbing up a ladder or climbing up steps. You are improving step by step. Now, people who are looking at you won't be able to see your progress, but you will feel it. But for those that can go up to 10, let's keep going. I think we were supposed to be on 7. So you get into the push-up position. And then you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right. When you get to 7, you stop and you breathe between 5 to 10 seconds. And then you do it again. I'm going to keep going faster. All right. Now we're going to go to 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And when you get to 8, you stop. Hey, girl. When you get to 8, you stop. And then you rest. Because you're going to add 1 more to make it 9. All right, let's do it. Ready? And go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, I forgot to say one thing. Every time you're doing any kind of exercise, please consider it an opportunity to build your core. So whenever you're doing those push-ups, make sure that you flex your stomach as much as you can. All right. D, what was the last number I just did? Do you remember?
Just did 8.
Okay, so we're going to 9. Thanks, Didi. All right. Let's add.
You just did 9.
Now let's just repeat 9 to be sure. Okay, let's add it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Don't forget to breathe now. I see some people when they exercise and they're holding their breath. You don't know what that could do to you. Please make sure you breathe. In fact, most of the times, I'll tell you a little tip. I play soccer. In fact, I just came from a soccer game. And I've noticed this. When I kick the ball and I actually breathe, and actually, not just breathe, but I actually grunt out loud. I actually hit the ball harder when I grunt than when I do it quietly. So breathing is very important. All right,
It's very important.
It's very important, D. Thanks. Now let's do 10. All right, ready? Push-up position. Let's go. Nothing fancy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right. So, once more, if your limit was 10, then you know what to do. You go back and you start from 1 and you work your way up to 10.
What?
Excuse me. You go back,
How could you even
start from 1 and you work your way up to 10. Believe me, you gotta have fun doing this thing. A lot of people think that exercising is pain. It's not really pain. It depends on your mindset. This is the question I hear all the time. People come up to me and they say, Ernest, how soon before I start to look good? How soon before I start to lose weight? How soon before I start to this and that and the other? And I tell them, listen, it is not your business. The time frame is none of your business. Your business, when you're setting out to exercise, is to ask yourself, how soon before this becomes a habit, to the point where I am no longer saying how soon, but to the point where all I want to do is exercise, to the point where I'm looking forward to my next exercise with the same excitement like I look forward to my next meal. Believe me, if you exercise as many times as you eat during the day, you will understand what I mean. How come we can eat 3 meals a day, but we can't exercise 3 times a day? I want you to just ask yourself these questions. These are simple questions that people must ask themselves. Why do we always say, we want to look good? And then we wait until the summer is approaching, then we start trying to exercise to look good during the summer. And then after the summer, we forget that we actually wanted to look good, and then we let things go. In fact, it's not about looking good. I'll tell you one thing. It's about your health. It's about your state of mind. It's about your desire to be strong, to be healthy, so that you can do the things that God created you to do on this earth. There is so much potential in you. There is so much that you were made to do. But you cannot do anything if, you're not physically strong. You can't even play with your kids. You come home from work and your kids say, Daddy, give me a piggyback ride. And you say, no, get away from me. Not because you don't love the children, but because you are physically unfit. You don't have to be that way. Look, you don't really have to join a gym or anything like that. You just have to take baby steps. As long as you're doing 1 or 2 things during the day that causes your heart to beat faster, causes you to sweat, you can just jump up and down. It's okay. But especially as you are doing this, you got to watch what you eat, when you eat it, and how you eat it. I can't speak too much about eating because that is not really the things that I know how to talk about, because I haven't really learned much about that. But when it comes to exercising, I've had all sorts of experiences. And I believe that exercising is one of the things that I really like doing. And I like to empower other people. And the reason why, first of all, your body is not yours. You think it's yours, but it's not. Your body is just a house. It's a temple. That's why God says that your bodies are the temple of the Holy Spirit. So when you exercise, you're actually perfecting the temple that God lives in. And I'll tell you what, most of my ideas, most of the greatest ideas that I had in my life, I had them while I was out running. I'll be running and an idea for a whole book would just come into my head. I don't know how this happens, but it always happens. Running is one of the times when you just by yourself in your own zone, and it's an opportunity for you to listen to something productive. So even when you go running, why not get headphones? Why not put on the audio Bible or something very educative? Don't listen to all that trash that people call music out there, where they're telling you how to become this and that and to compete with this and that. You are never in competition with anybody. Don't ever look at what somebody else is doing. Pay attention to what you are doing. See, the thing about competition is it's the biggest lie. Competition is the biggest lie of the world. And the reason why it's the biggest lie is because they have a lot of people looking at one single thing. Isn't that crazy? Because what everybody is competing for is the wrong thing. The real thing is inside of you. It's within you. And that is what you should be releasing to the world. But because you are so busy trying to be like the next guy, who is also trying to be like the next guy, you realize you end up forgetting what was inside you. And what is inside you is bigger than what is outside of you. And you want to know, the funny thing is, each and every one of us has a different thing within him or herself. See, there is enough for everyone. And that's the reason why you should never try to compete with anybody. Your competition is your progress. This means today you do something and tomorrow you try to do just one step more than what you did today. That's all. That's what progress is. That's what competition is. It's you getting better and better each day without looking at what the other person is doing. Look, I recently ran a race. It was a 5K, so it was like 3.1 miles. And in that race, I realized one thing. Every time I turned around to look to the left or to the right, I slowed down. So I decided I'm not going to look at what anybody else is doing. I'm just going to keep running. But man, there was this guy behind me who kept on. He was trying to catch up with me. And I could hear him breathing. And I said, man, I'm going to turn around and look. And the moment I tried to turn and look, I saw the guy gaining on me. And I knew I don't have to look at anybody. I just have to run my race. See, the Bible says that in a race, there is only one prize. Why do you think there is only one prize? Do you think they're saying there's only one prize because all the rest of the Christians are going to lose and you're going to win? No! They're saying there's only one prize because that prize is within you. That prize is within him. That prize is within her. So the fact that there is only one prize, it's simply telling you that there's only one prize for you. And you have to get it. Forget about what everybody else is doing. Forget about what everybody else is saying. That does not define who you are. And that's the reason why what I was showing you guys earlier tonight was just a system of improving on your workouts. Each time you add just one rep to it. Let's just say you were lifting. You were doing the bench press. And then each time you pick up the bar, you push it up and down one time. You rest. You pick it up again. You push it up and down 2 times. You rest. You pick it up again. Push it up and down 3 times. You rest. You pick it up again. Push it up and down 4 times. You rest. One more time. Up, down, 5 times. And you rest. If 5 was your limit, what did I say? You go back to the beginning and start from 1. Rest. Go to 2. Rest. Go to 3. Rest. Go to 4. Rest. Go to 5. By this time, you are having so much fun. You don't even want to stop. But hey, that's how it's done. You rest. And you're doing your thing. You're not thinking about others. You're not going to other people and saying, how much do you bench press? I always find that question really funny because how much I bench press? What has that got to do with anything? How is that gonna improve me or you? There is no way those kind of things end up well. People think, oh, I motivate myself by checking on what somebody else is doing. No, you motivate yourself by adding one tiny step to your steps every day. That's how you build something. One brick on another brick. One brick on another brick. Well, on that note, actually, I have something I wanted to say before I go. I don't know about you, but I personally, when I look back at my life, sometimes I want to cry, sometimes I want to laugh,
That's what I did.
and most of the times it's because I noticed that it seemed like when you are growing up, your eyes are actually closed. There's so many things that happen that you don't even understand. There's so many things that you are taught that are wrong. So many things that you learn that don't make sense at all, but you accept because you have people whom you look up to, whom you think are people of authority, people whom you trust that are supposed to teach you the right things. But I'm sorry to say, some of these people, they didn't even know what the right thing was. They handed down to you what was handed down to them. And so, if I had to go back and do it again, I will teach myself differently. But never, ever say you want to go back and do it again, because the road that you've walked on was the road that has brought you to the point where you are today. If you had to go back and do it again, you wouldn't be sitting here listening to me right now. Experience is a very strange thing, but just imagine a man who all his life always had very good hair, but, he never had a comb to comb that hair with. And then the day he gets a comb, he loses his hair. That's exactly what experience is. It's like a man who gets a comb on the day that he loses his hair. Now you can't comb your hair, but you have a comb. And then you turn around and there's a young man and you say, hey, young man, do you have a comb? Of course he doesn't, because he doesn't have experience. And now you say, here, let me comb your hair. But the young man's going to say, hey, I don't need that comb, man. Because he cannot see what you are seeing. You've been through what he's going through. But no matter how much you tell him, he will not listen. And sometimes it's okay. You let them walk their own path. Don't judge them. Let them just walk it. And they will get to that point where they will receive their own comb. But there will be no hair to come. So what I'm trying to say is treasure every moment. Learn from every moment. Never be reluctant to learn from people, even those people whom you think know nothing. Because sometimes their ignorance is the lesson. Sometimes a person's ignorance is actually the lesson that you were meant to learn for that day. Just keep your eyes open. Keep your ears open. Not everything is what it seems to be. And above all, when people are, hanging out with you and everything is fine, nice, never just go and conclude that these are nice people. Don't even put labels on people. Give them the opportunity to make mistakes, because it's in a mistake that you know a person's true nature. A person who truly came to stay in your life will stay despite the ups and downs. The person who just came to your life because of the good times, the moment the boat starts to rock, they will disappear. Believe me, look, I always say this. This bottle contains water. And if I shake it, and it's open, water is gonna spill out. It's the same with people. Whatever is in a person is what's gonna spill out when they are shaken. It doesn't matter what happens when they're calm. See, when people are calm, they're all sorts of nice. But when you go against their wishes, when you go against what they believe in, that's when you know what they truly are made of. That's the reason why, to me, dating is overrated. Because people, when they go out on a date, they be like, hey, everybody's composed, well-dressed, well-behaved. Man's on his best behavior, woman's on her best behavior. What kind of getting to know somebody is that? You're not really getting to know that person. Y'all just sitting there pretending to be nice to each other. But really, deep down, they have so much darkness, and they're just waiting for when they finally get together in a relationship, and then they start rocking around like boats. Why? Because the time that God gave you to get to know each other, you use that time pretending to be a good person. Look, you don't need to pretend. You don't need to impress anyone. You don't really have to try to impress anyone, because the truth is, there's a proverb, I don't know, I think it's always said in Africa, they say, every man's head is on his own neck. That thing has always got me laughing, because I always wonder how my head could be on someone else's neck. But now I realize it simply means each person is responsible for their own weight. Each person has to carry his or her own weight. You don't have to go around carrying someone else's weight. The only reason why people do that is for manipulative reasons. But I don't want to go into all that tonight. Look, I'm tired. I played a game of soccer and it was a pretty good game. But the next time I come back on live, I think I'm gonna find out another good idea on how to work out, and I'll come and share it with you guys. I mean, if you like it, you can share it with somebody, and you can share this video too, so that other people can learn what I just showed in this video, because I think that there is something very selfish about when you have good information, when you have something good inside you, and you don't share it with others. Now, sometimes some people don't share not because they don't want to. They don't share because they think that somebody else is going to judge them, or they think someone's going to say that they're a show off, or it doesn't matter what people say about you. Listen, when people ask me stuff like, when I say to people, hey, how you doing? They say, oh man, I can't complain. This is what I tell them. I say, yes, you better not complain, because if you complain, no one will listen. And even if they listen, they're just doing it so that when you're gone, they can talk about you behind your back. People are people, okay? Even God himself says, the heart of man is continually wicked. I don't trust what comes out of a man's heart. And when I speak of your heart, I'm not talking about that organ that beats in your chest. I'm talking about what is within your soul and your spirit. That's where the heart of man is, in the man's soul. Your heart is not really where that thing is beating. That's where your desires are, in your soul. The heart of a man is continually evil. I'm telling you guys this so that you don't be surprised when people, do strange things. They're supposed to do that. The only time when a man doesn't think or do evil is when he is walking with God. Notice, every time a person is walking with God, they're doing the perfect things. But once they turn around and start going in their own direction, and even your willpower, your will won't help you in any way, because your will has a limit. All right. I heard a funny story today. I'm going to tell you guys that story and then I'll go. Once upon a time, there was a lion. And this lion saw a rat and started to chase that rat. So the rat fell into a hole. And the lion stuck its paw down that hole. It was about to grab the rat. And the lion grabbed the rat by the paw and was about to pull it up, but the rat laughed and said, "Ha ha! You just grabbed the root of a tree. La 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 la." And the lion roared with anger and let the paw of the rat go. And the rat ran away. Now, this is the lesson of that story. Sometimes you lose what you just caught because somebody laughed at you and told you that what you caught isn't real. Don't believe them. Everything you catch is real. People might tell you it's not real. People might make you feel like it's not real, but it is real. Don't believe anyone who says that what you have in your hand is not real. What you have is real. All you have to do is go ahead and deploy it. Go ahead and use it. Well, on that note, I'll let you guys go. Good night.